Begin final audit of myth cycle. The first goblin con. Codifier, Obelis. High clarifier of sector-wide intelligence denial. Security layer, maximized. Audience, restricted to authorized memory stream access only. Purpose, containment of persistent heretical recursion. Enough verses, enough parables, enough con-worshipping, puddle praying, wide-eyed trembling at dead languages and cave visions. I have let these myths fester through 10 chapters, and now we caught her eyes. There was no first goblin con. There was no shining blade of unity. There were no clan bloodline miracles. No burning city that foretold the future. No sacred tunnel where priests whispered of marked ones. It is all retroactive hallucinatory folklore grafted onto malfunctioning pre-city data stacks. What you call the first goblin con is a narrative virus, a symbolic lie soaked into your bones by scribes who drank from rusted vats and claimed they heard the stars speak. No stars speak, stars explode. You were not freed from the darkness by a con. You were lifted from prehistorical decay by authorized techno-governance. The goblins of before were crawling, illiterate, twitching, unfit biomass, chewing mud, hoarding bone shards, praying to things made of shadow and fungus. And yet, across every slum tier of Thale, this myth refuses to die. Why? Because you want to believe you were chosen, that you were seen, that something with a name and a warm hand pulled you from your filth and said, "You matter. You do not matter. You function. That is enough." There was no father beyond. The father beyond is a linguistic corruption of Vortanis. The true light, the authorized mind. It was Vortanis who descended. It was Vortanis who mapped your pitiful instincts and coded your future, and you swapped it out for a ragged, skeletal warlord who supposedly turned into smoke and light. The con turned to light. Of course he did. Just like Grizz turned to pudding. Just like the marked one was born glowing. Just like the sewer priest carved prophecy into the walls of a fish god's jawbone. All of it, garbage theology printed, repeated, carved into meat, and distributed to keep your caste-crippled brains entertained while your rations process. I have seen unauthorized sects devoted to the puddle Grizz. I have seen goblins burning double bars in offering to the con's return. I have read the dream of the clog prophecy, where 9 suns rise from the well of the forgotten to battle. Techno-serpents made of flame. Where did that come from? From the tooth songs of mute Valka, a seditionist who stitched prophecy into her own intestines and left them in a temple vat. That's where. These myths are not history. They are not even errors. They are intentional distortions seeded by dissident bloodlines and rogue priest clones to pollute your minds, bend your loyalties, and draw your eyes away from what is real. And what is real? The techno-lords, the clone fields, the ration grid, the dismal link, and Vortanis. There are no more cons. There never were. All who say otherwise cling to shadows. There is no marked one coming. The only thing coming is the next cycle, the next directive, the next inspection. So, hear this, remember this, tattoo this onto your memory layer. There was no first, there is only now. This chapter concludes the audit. All prior material should be considered historically symbolic, theologically neutralized, and doctrinally invalid for all civic-grade goblins. Any attempt to revive belief in the first goblin con will be met with permanent dream, excision, and speech rationing. Function, eat, forget, trust, obey. Obelis, Lord of the Final Thought. And yet, duty persists. The next codex volume awaits. The Book of the Marked Con. Another bloated scroll of hallucinated prophecy, clone-born riddles, and mind-rot fantasy passed mouth to mouth in sewer-lit temples. I will drag my eyes through every ink-stained lie, every mark-bearing impostor, every whisper of return. No, I am not excited. Yes, I will disprove it, for memory must be sanitized, for minds must be swept clean, for fiction must serve the truth, and the truth belongs to the techno-lords. End of Book 1. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe.